Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to come at you today with total and utter honesty about how I'm feeling and how my week has been and how my plans moving forward. I have had one A choice 3 days this week. I've had 2 B choices every day this week. That's come out of the fact that I've dropped into a really bad habit of drinking flat white coffees in Costa, which are 8.5 sins, and 1 sin for the sugar I add, so 9.5 out of my 11 sins. And that's been okay within my sins, but I know it's formed a really bad habit and I know I need to stop it. So I'm coming on here today with a commitment to stop doing that, because I know it's taking me to dangerous places, and it's also messed up my A choices because I feel like I'm having so much milk I'm drowning in it. Because for my first A choice I have 400 mils of goat's milk, skimmed goat's milk, and then this other big coffee on top of it. I've just totally messed it up this week. I need to get my arse back in gear and quit that, because it's becoming too much of a little luxury treat and it's sending my head wappy. So from today onwards I'm back to 2 A's, 2 B's, properly. My result for this week has been a £0.5 weight loss, which I wasn't particularly looking for, and I don't genuinely know how I feel about it, because after a weight loss last week and a weight loss this week, and now being £5 under my actual target and £2 out of the bottom of my target, again my head isn't in the most secure of places. Naomi did offer me the opportunity this morning, either that if I drop another £2 I can drop my target by half a stone. I know that's not the wisest thing to do, because when would I stop? Yeah, I could get into the 9 stones, but I don't need to be. And I am noticing that the extra skin isn't as tight, well, it's looser than it was, and I don't need to go there. So this morning, although I'm very happy with where I'm at, i.e. I'm not over target, it is having an effect on my head and my thinking, and I need to change that. So I'm coming to you this morning in all honesty saying, back to basics next week for me. That will be 2 A's, 2 B's, 11 sins, and not skipping A choices. I don't need to lose any more weight, and yeah, that's the full truth about where I'm at today. I'm not unhappy with it, but I can feel little danger signs creeping in, and if I don't stop them now, they'll get a hold of me. The grey wolf will be back. So, group this morning was smashing, and we had some really good weight losses. We had 5 new members, we had 5 last week. It's a lovely big friendly group, and some good awards again. You know, people are cracking on with their weight losses at a steady rate of knots. It's good to see. Something we were handed in group this morning was a new page for our book. I think Joe's got it.
I'll take it through to the kitchen.
He'll fetch it. Well, I'll talk about it while he goes and collects it. There have been some changes made to Healthy Extra B's. Now, you may have already been given this sheet at your group. The reason I'm wanting to show it is for those people who don't get to a group. Have I got it the right way around? Yeah. There have been changes made to Healthy Extra B's, and with effect from immediately, you can up your porridge to 40 grams. There have been 1 or 2 cereals removed from the list, and 1 or 2 weights amended. Now, for anybody who doesn't go to group and can't get a hold of this sheet, I am willing to type it out and email it to you. So if you want a copy to keep your plan up to date, please find my email address on my About Me details, drop me an email and I'll send you a copy typed out. The other change, which I think is a good one, is a change to artificial sweeteners. Now, for some of us, well, I'll speak about myself, I don't use artificial sweeteners. I know Joe buys stevia, but he would only use about 1/4 teaspoon because it's very, very sweet. But a lot of people on plan use it in baking. They use it to sweeten quark. And these are the granular sweeteners I'm talking about, not the tablets. The tablets are still free. So for the granular sweeteners, if you use it in baking, if you use it to sweeten quark or stewed fruit, Slimming World now say for every level tablespoon count half a sin. that cuts it. I mean, Joe can read you. If you don't mind reading it, Joe, so people know exactly what it says. But for me, I believe this is a good choice because when I watch people baking with artificial sweetener and maybe using 6 or 8 tablespoons, yeah, okay, change the sin values of what you're baking, but if you still want to eat it, you won't mind counting those sins, and it might actually aid your weight loss. So if Joe can just read you the details around that.
Okay. Although most spoonable and granular sweeteners are sin-free, to make them granular they do rely on a carrier which contains calories. For the odd teaspoon or sprinkle, the calories and the sins are truly negligible. However, if you're using larger amounts to sweeten fromage frais or stewed fruits, for example, it could be having an impact on your weight loss. So we recommend the following weight-wise points. If you plan to use several tablespoons of granular sweetener to sweeten desserts or stewed fruits, etc., we advise you to count half a sin per tablespoon to safeguard your continued weight loss.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So there you are. I mean, they advise you to, and I would imagine if they're putting it in the book, it's a recommendation that you should follow. Now, I know some of my friends would say, well, I've always baked with it and I've never counted it and I'm not going to now. You know, we put the stubborn head on. But my advice to those friends would be count it, because most of you have still got weight to lose. You're trying your hardest to lose it. Don't sabotage yourself with one insignificant thing like that. If it means you've got to count, you know, a sin for the 2 tablespoons that you put in your quark or your porridge or whatever, do it. It's better to be safe than sorry about your weight loss. Okay. So as I say, you want a copy of that, drop me an email. 5 food items to bring to you this week. I'll start with this one, which is the skinny meatballs from Marks and Spencer's. Haven't tried these yet, but they have come recommended from my group. So I believe these are sin-free. The skinny burgers, which are these, are sin-free. They're on the app. The meatballs aren't on the app, but they're made with the same less than 3% meat. So I think we're safe to say they're free. So they're both products from Marks and Spencer's, which it's good to be able to buy burgers that are sin-free. I know we have the Slimming World burgers, but I find those a bit on the thick side, and I've heard other people say that. So it might be worth your while trying these. I can't tell you the price. I think they were about £2 or £2.50, but I threw my receipt away before Joe had a chance to check it. Ribbons of beetroot. Now, I love beetroot. And this is just a steamer pack of 250 grams of ribbons of beetroot, which you can use as a pasta replacement if you want to, or you can just use it, like I will, as speed food on your plate. I'm quite excited to eat that because I adore beetroot. These are £1.75, I believe, but in conjunction with other products on the shelf at the same price or similar, you can get 2 for £3. So this was one of the other products, and this is lentils, rice, wild rice, peppers, garlic puree, black pepper. I think that's about it, Joe? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah.
I could read it if you want me to.
Oh yeah, I'll get him to read it when I pass it over, but this is 290 grams, so it's quite a lot, and it's 2 sins. So that would be filling. Might go nice with the burgers. Then if you could read the ingredients.
It's got cooked green lentils, cooked rice, red peppers, cooked wild rice, sunflower oil, lemon juice, salt, parsley, garlic puree and ground black pepper.
So the sins in that come from the oil, the sunflower oil. Most of the other ingredients there are free foods, aren't they? The red peppers are speed food. It'll be minimal, but
yeah, and the lentils will be protein.
The lentils will be protein. So the 2 sins in that come from the oil. So I think that's a nice healthy dish to be eating. My final product is this old-fashioned apple. Now this, can you hear the like dry skin of it? This is a russet apple, and lots of people will be familiar with those, probably my generation. For the younger generation, they are an old-fashioned apple with a very short season, not short series. They're just in season, so they're called russets, and they are a really nice change if you like apples. So I would encourage anybody to try those. As I say, they have a very short season. They're only usually around for 2 or 3 weeks. So that's my products this week. To go on to my word for the week, which follows pretty much on to how my thinking has been this week. My word for the week is positive, because my thinking needs to change to become more positive. I cannot keep focusing on where I used to be. I know that my friend who's a Christian would say to me, you know, it says in Proverbs, as a man thinketh, so he is. And if I keep thinking and fearing being fat, then the chances are I could return to that. So I've got to make an effort, a really concerted effort, to change my thinking and stop fearing gaining weight and stop fearing being overweight and morbidly obese and let go of what I used to be. Because I was a very great one for focusing on things like, you know, I am the biggest person in this room, because I generally was. I won't fit in that chair. I'll need an extension seat belt. You know, this diet won't work for me. Diets never work for me. I always fail. I've said all these things over myself for so many years that I became the person who believed all of that. I now need to be speaking over myself more positive things. I need to be saying I am slim and believing it. And I'm finding that, if I'm truthful, I'm finding that really difficult. Because while I can walk into a shop and buy the sweater I'm wearing today, which is probably a size 12, or is it size medium, I can't remember, and it fits, or I can walk into Levi like I did last week and buy 3 pairs of slim fit jeans in a size 11, which thank God Levi do in between sizes, and actually fit into them easily. I'm not believing it about myself. It's almost like in my head it's happening to somebody else. Now, whether some of this is actually connected to the fact that I can't just look in a mirror and see myself, I don't know. Because I hear sighted people with sight saying they look in a mirror and they still can't see themselves the way they are. I think one of my friends said quite recently, she walked past a shop window and saw a reflection of herself and she thought, who's that? I've got to change my thinking. I've really, really got to change my thinking. And it's harder than I thought it was going to be. I know this is just another phase of the journey. I know it's another part of learning to live differently. But I really have got to make an effort this week to do something serious about changing my thinking. And I wonder how many other people out there have experienced or are experiencing the sort of things that I'm experiencing. You know, when does your head catch up with your body? Can somebody tell me that? When for you did your head catch up with your body? When did you actually start to believe in the new woman or the new man that you were? Because all the way down on my journey from 22 stone to the 10 stone 2 I am today, I still thought of myself as a fat person. When did I cross that line? When did I become slim?
In a weird way, it's kind of keeping you stuck in the past, because if you only ever existed in today, you've never been fat. If you know what I mean, it's keeping you stuck.
It is keeping me. That's a really good point, Joe. Because if all that is relevant about my life is where I am, the here and the now, because this is all I've got, I can only be the person I am today, and I'm not fat. And actually saying that sounds odd to me. If I'm focusing on what I used to be all the time, I am keeping myself stuck in the past. I've got tomorrow to live and look forward to, but it's not here and now. Here and now, I am a size 12, comfortably a size 12. I
May as well have never been fat.
I may as well never have been fat, because I'm not what I used to be. I'm not what I'm going to be, but thank God I'm not what I used to be. And I know that the way I do things today is very different. I know today I could walk into Primark and I could buy a jumper in a size 8. I won't do that. I won't buy for me today, I won't buy oversized clothes so I can say, look at me, I've got a size 8 jumper. Because I'm kidding myself. I need to live in the reality of what I am today. And that's been a strange experience this week, because Joe would tell you, I went clothes shopping last week and the week before with a lovely friend who has very nice taste in clothes and will not let me buy things that are hiding my body anymore. She doesn't bully me, she's just strong enough to say no to me, and that takes a strong person, believe me. But when we were shopping and I was trying on clothes and I was putting on stuff that was labelled small, and I was like, no, that's a bit snug. She's and then like passed me the medium, and I put the medium on and it would be a bit baggy, especially around the bottom, because I am small on the bottom half, smaller on the bottom. I've got no hips. And I would put something on and she'd say to me, and I'd be like, yeah, that's comfier on the boobs because there's room to try and hide my boobs. And she'd say, yeah, but it's big enough on the bottom for you to be 9 months pregnant. You're not having that. You're just not wearing that. It's too big. And to actually put clothes on, I mean, we went out walking the other day and I bought a zip-up fleece top, but it's very fitted. It's not like a baggy, saggy one. It's very fitted. And I said to Joe when we were walking, this feels really strange. Does this look too small? Do I look like mutton dressed as lamb? And Joe said, Mum, what are you talking about? That fits you perfectly well. You look nice in it. But to actually cross that line into fitting, to wearing clothes that are fitted, is actually quite, not uncomfortable, that's not the right word. It's a different kind of comfortable. And it's a kind of, I think I need to try and build my confidence in that area. It's about being more confident and being more out there, instead of being that woman who was a size 26 trying to hide inside a cardigan and believe she looked like a size 14, which she never did. So I've got to change so much of my thinking. And I would be interested to hear from people watching this vlog. How did you do that? Or are you in the same place as me? Are you stuck in this same place? Are you trying today to make that change into accepting your new body and leave the past where it should be, back there somewhere?
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Why do you feel more comfortable thinking of yourself as being fat?
Why do I? Oh God. I guess it's because it's what I always was. This is new to me. This doesn't feel like me.
So you feel more confident in yourself thinking of yourself as fat than...
But when I was fat, I was quite a confident person, wasn't I? I don't feel... I think it's because I'm afraid to stand out in a crowd. I don't want to stand out in a crowd. Now, a funny thing happened to me the other day. We were in the menswear department of Marks and Spencer's. And a few months ago, we'd been in the ladies' wear department at Marks, and we were served by a really, really genuinely nice assistant, a very helpful lady. And she made a comment to me about the fact that she had noticed I'd lost weight. And I was quite surprised because I didn't know this lady, but she's obviously watched me over the last 6 years diminish in size. But I don't think I'd ever spoken to her before. But she said, I hope you don't mind my saying, you look really nice, you've lost an awful lot of weight. So I said, thank you. I didn't do the usual thank you, but, thank you. And she said, can I ask you how you've done it? And I said, well, let's just say Slimming World, because that's where I feel I've done most of it, or the bigger part of it. And she said, oh, great, well, you're looking fabulous. Now, that was a few months ago, wasn't it, Joe? Mm-hmm. Not seen her for those months, but we were in the menswear department the other day, and Joe was paying for a sweater he'd bought at the tills, and they have the tills all in a row now, and this same lady, unbeknown to me, was serving 2 tills away. She was serving a gentleman 2 tills away, and we finished paying and we walked off to the side, and she just said to the chap she was serving, excuse me, and then she went, hello again, you're looking good. And it's weird. And I think I felt like half the shop turned and looked at me. Why is she looking good? And it was lovely, and it was really nice to receive a compliment. But it's hard. it's hard to actually feel. I do feel comfortable in my body. I feel 100% comfortable in my body. But I still don't like the thought that I might stand out in a crowd. But then now
Why
I'm
would
looking.
you stand out in a crowd?
But I won't. I was just going to say.
Slim,
Now I'm looking
person.
like Mrs. Average, aren't I? Whereas I used to look like Mrs. Massive lady. I always made an effort to look nice. I never went around looking like a bag of shit. I always made an effort to look nice. But people would have noticed me then because of my size. The average person in the street is now going to look straight past me because of my size. And in a way that's a really good thing. And I am comfortable in my body. But it is bringing up all
Your head's comfortable in your old body.
Yeah, my head's comfortable in my old body. And I'm waiting.
It's fat. It's
fat.
weird.
It is weird.
Isn't it?
I just wonder whether any of you out there have experienced this. Whether you've got anything to sort of recommend, or whether it's just about wait until your head and when does your head catch up with your body? Whether you're in the same place as me, still waiting for it to happen, or whether we need to make some positive action in ourselves to make it happen. Whether it is about self-belief.
Maybe it's just being about conscious of when you're talking to yourself negatively, if you know what I mean.
So I've got to stop being negative.
If you, it's not just stop being negative, I think, but like, because you need to be negative sometimes about some things, you just can't help it. But if you find yourself being negative about yourself, maybe just noticing the fact that you're being negative about yourself
is a starting point.
Yeah.
So look, wow. I'm a size 12 and I love it. And I believe it. Well, I think I do. I'm trying.
You got to notice it in yourself then.
I'm trying to believe it.
I think it's going to always feel forced when you first start to...
It's got to feel forced because it's so different. And it is making that transition, I can say that word properly, from the old person to the person I am today. And these vlogs are helping me because they're a diary that I can look back on days when I'm struggling. So I'm grateful to all of you who choose to watch, and my viewing figures really do give me pleasure. But I have to also use these vlogs as a journal, as a diary reminder to myself. And sometimes it helps me to just go back to one of my earlier vlogs and remind myself of where I've come from. And to be grateful that, I'm not there anymore. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me waffle. If that speaks to anybody, if you've got anything you can offer that might help me, please put it in the comments below, because my head is a mess this week, but I'm working on it. And remember, the one thing I have to remind myself every day, and I do believe it works if I work it, it won't if I don't. Cheers. See you all next week. Bye.